And we're live. What's going on, everybody? It is the big homie JP Green, aka Mr. Mo Better, coming back at you one more time on a Saturday afternoon. It's almost July. It's about to be hot. I can't say hotter than July. I wanted to reference that Stevie Wonder album, but it's been hot for a few weeks now here in Dallas, Texas. As I like to say, it's a sunny Saturday in Dallas, Texas. I can appreciate this weather, even though I know it's like 3 shirt change weather. You got to take extra clothes with you. I'm in the studio solo dolo once again. We threw out the rundown, unbeknownst to us. It happens, man. But I got something interesting coming up in about 10 minutes. That just happened when I went downstairs to go get some coffee. I'm gonna wait to tell you guys that story and wait so we can really just get into it. It was pretty good. Also, I just want to shout out to my man Jedi. He's running the board today, but he's also riding with me, my co-pilot Jedi.
I'm here. What's up?
We're back at it once again, man.
We are indeed.
I almost feel like it's maybe it should be us. But man, it's been an interesting week for me. I'm grinding right now. I got that 9 to 5, 5 to 9 thing going. On top of chasing, this ain't my dream. This is a vision. This is not chasing dreams. No disrespect to the whole thing of dream chasing. This is the vision, my purpose and destiny in life. So we're just trying to get there, man. Plus, I'm the father of teenagers, man, trying to make it happen for them. I want them to have things. But nevertheless, here we are again on a Saturday. We missed last Saturday, but I promise you that we won't miss any more Saturdays no matter what happens. If you're an entrepreneur out there or you know somebody that's an entrepreneur, have them DM me. Or you DM me, inbox me, hit me up. Matter of fact, you can call me if you're watching right now, 214-664-6559. Don't call me, I'm on air. Let me take that back. You can text me. You can text me or inbox me. Inbox me on Facebook, DM me on Instagram at The Get Back Show. Or you can inbox me if you're watching this live. You can inbox The Get Back Show. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter as Mr. Mo Better if you can't find the Get Back Show. But there's no other show like the Get Back Show, so you should be able to find us. We also have podcasts available. We are a podcast. We have previous episodes available. You can find those on SoundCloud, Podbean, Google Play Music, iTunes. Wherever you listen to podcasts, we're there waiting for you to download, share, and listen. So just to get back to things, man, we talk about entrepreneurship on this show. This is what season 1 has been dedicated to. And it's entrepreneur-centric. That is the premise and purpose of season 1. And we've been just on it. The first episode was called the Cosign Edition. Shout out to Cosign, KG and Chris P, and all the staff at Cosign Magazine doing big things. I think they just dropped issue 22 or issue 23. Really dope. They had some exclusives with Karen Civil and a couple other people in there. Those guys are doing really big things. And I just saw KG put something in his stories about an expo or something coming up in August, something real big for entrepreneurs. So if you guys, man, if you want to look at one of the leading crews in as far as highlighting entrepreneurs and getting people out there media wise, you need to look at Cosign Magazine, man. Catch up to those guys. If you see KG, Cosign KG, that's how you find him on Instagram. Or you can follow Cosign Mag on Instagram, or just go to cosignmagazine.com, I think. It may be .com or .net. I may be wrong. Just try either one of them. My bad, y'all. And also, Chris P, you can find him at Local Celeb. CP Local Celeb. There it is. CP Local Celeb on Instagram. Hit them up, man. Just tell them that you heard about them on the Get Back Show. Let them know that, you know, we see them just like they saw us. They came out for the very first episode. The second episode is called We On The Night. And I think I talked about this the last time. It was Jedi and I just riding out. We On The Night, I had Herschel Cooper with HC3 Enterprises, Sam Jackson with Impress ENT, Nina Itaraldi, my bad sis, Nina Itaraldi with 5 Made Men, and then Lena P. She's an R&B artist, local R&B artist that I've been knowing for a long time. Lena's super cool with her gorgeous self. And then third episode was Femtrepreneur. I can't talk today. Femtrepreneur, which really highlighted five female entrepreneurs that I know that are doing some big things. Rare Essentials, Delisa Rose. Rare Essentials, they are mixologists. Delisa Rose, you can find her at, let me back up. You can find Rare Essentials at rareessentials.com, or you can find them on rare_essentials on Instagram. You can find Kendra, who's one half of the dynamic duo of Rare Essentials, at Kenny. Kenny spelled Kennie at the end of that. So Kenny. And then the other half of the dynamic duo, which makes up Rare Essentials, is Ebony Elijah. And you can find her at Elijah94. It may be _94. And I don't have time to go look at my phone right now, and I apologize for that. But you can find them on Instagram that way. And then we had my buddy, my ace, Zakil McLean with Coco Labs. She was on, and you can find her at Wise Queen, WYZE Queen. That's her personal. I might get cussed out for that one. But and then also you can find her on Coco Labs. Hit her up. Labs spelt with a Z at the end, not an S. Coco Labs, you can find her there. We had Siani Love and the incomparable Nikki Jackson from the Benet Embry Show. Shout out to Benet, shout out to James Kane, and of course the gorgeous Nikki Jackson. And then we had Siani Love, my favorite local artist. Love this young lady. She has a tremendous gift. Awesome songwriter, man, and she is fearless. And she been wilding out on the gram just a little bit herself too. It's kind of funny. And then episode 4 was Mortgage Mindset, and we had Arthur Wimberly, AW, the mortgage guy. We had Jet Timmons, jettimmons.com. Both of those guys are loan officers or loan originators. You can give them a call if you're trying to get pre-qualified for a home or need help finding a home. Jet touts himself the financial physician, so he has some information to help you out, as well as Delisa Rose again, and then Unique Honeycut. If you need life insurance, period. If you have a question about insurance, you need to look up Unique Honeycut, and she's RLS, Real Life Solutions, RLS.com. You can find her at Real Life Solutions, or you can find her on the gram under Unique Honeycut, and then RLS. You can find them on the gram too. But hit her up if you have any questions about insurance, as well as Delisa Rose. Again, she was on Mortgage Mindset with me, and she's a real estate broker. She's in the top. What'd she say? Top 5 in the top. Yeah, those she spit the. Hey man, I can't spit those statistics like she spit those statistics. But when they're about you, I guess you're gonna know them. You know. So shout out to her and her family. And then it was episode 5, and that was our first episode here at Dallas On Air, Caught Up with Jedi. And here we are.
Yep.
Episode 5 was The Hustle Don't Stop. And then episode 6 was another version of Throw Out the Rundown, because we had to throw out the rundown. And this is episode 7. Guess what we're doing? Throwing out the rundown.
Part 2.
Part 2. But this is what's interesting. So I'm assuming that our author friend ghosted us. Oh, you guys can come on over.
Yeah, okay, great. Can we Twitter live stream?
Huh?
Can we Twitter live stream?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Huh? We're live right now. You're like walking on the camera right now.
Fantastic. Is there another camera too?
Yeah, I'm gonna arrange them.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, he's got you.
Never get too many cameras.
That's fine. We're done at 3ish.
Oh, perfect.
We're done at it. What's up, Ebony? I thought you were gonna come see me, man. I know it was last minute. Forgive me. Charge it to my head and not my heart. But you're, oh. Yeah, I know I'm loud, dog. But if you're in the neighborhood, come by. We still got another like 45 minutes. This should be interesting. This is going to be fun. But am I still on? I'm still center, right? Okay. So while Jedi's getting everything set up, I'm going to tell you guys, I didn't even get your name while we're downstairs. We'll get back to that, though. If you want to wear headphones, you can.
Okay.
If you want to wear headphones, Elijah.
Isaiah.
I don't know why I said Elijah.
It starts with an E, so everyone. I just answered anything that
That
starts
threw
with an E.
me off, too. I just looked at it. Appreciate you liking the show, by the way. I saw you going to like the show page.
Absolutely.
So this is going to be interesting. Yeah. What is that in the background?
Dude, I'm not so good with these.
Yeah.
Put them on.
Just put them on?
Yep.
Yeah. They're too big?
They're a little too big.
Oh, there you go. You don't want them to squeeze you
Yeah,
though,
that's
bro.
perfect.
Oh, I don't know. I like my headphones. I like a tight fit on my headphones.
This is going to make you. This one? Oh, to you.
But yeah, this will work.
Yeah, you got to talk into it so we can hear you.
Perfect.
There we go. You sound good.
Thanks.
You sound good. You sound good. So I'm going to tell you this story. What was her name? Her name was her name Cherie? Was it Cherie?
Chanel.
Chanel.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Chanel, if you happen to be watching this. So anyway, that's not how it started. That's kind of how it started. So it started because this day has been kind of long. And then I was expecting some people. It happens that way again. And so I went downstairs and I told Jedi, I said, I'm going to get me some coffee. I'll be back. Let's start at 2. So I went downstairs to go get me some coffee from where?
I Am the Juice Place.
Yes, it's a reason I'm going to have her say it. So I went to go get some coffee from I Am the Juice Place. And I walk in and I order my coffee. And there, I'm not going to lie, it's a beautiful young lady that walked in the same time I did. And I just asked her if I could buy her a drink. No, we're not at a bar. We were getting coffee. So I asked her if I could buy her a drink. Not for any other reason that to be a gentleman. And I just felt like I wanted to be nice at that point. You wanted to do something good. It was kind of a gloomy morning. So I wanted some help sprinkle a little sunshine in my own life. So then I'm down there and we're talking. And I introduced myself to her after I asked her to buy her a drink. And then I turned, and this young man to my left, right here, Isaiah, was sitting there, and I looked at him. And you know where I'm from. If you make eye contact with somebody, you speak. So I spoke to him, shook hands, and we started talking.
As it goes.
We started talking. And how do we get to the whole podcast? Oh, I was telling you about the show, right?
Well, yeah, you mentioned that Anna, you were saying you gave her a shout out on the show.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm like, okay, well, this guy's in media and that sort of thing. And, you know, I love media. Can never get too many cameras on me or microphones in front of me because I've got a message to get out there. And so my antenna went up, but then, I realized you were, talking with other guests. So I wanted to, but I just couldn't keep it to myself. So
there you go. That's cool. And then from there, he asked me about the show. I told him about the show. His question that got everything sparked is, what are you guys talking about? What do you focus on? And I said, this season, we're dedicated to talking about entrepreneurship, which I guess made his antennas go up again.
Doing.
Yeah.
Because here we go. So then he gives me a little bit of his background. And I'm like, what are you doing right now? So he starts to give me more of his background. And I'm like, no. Right now. And why don't you come upstairs and let me interview you? So, and here we are. And then Anna said, well, when you going to have me up? Well, when can you come up? She said that was a good answer. That's the right answer. That's what I told her. That's the right answer. It's the best answer. And she was available like immediately. Well, you guys were closing down at 2. And there was the third party, the young lady that I bought the drink for, Chanel, found out she's an author. And we tried to peer pressure her into coming up, but, she's strong. You know, I guess
Taking a break. It's taking a break from all her.
I guess it's from all the affirmations that she's strong. She can handle that peer pressure. What was the name of her book? Anybody remember? I know she said it. I didn't hear it. I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember the name. I just thought she mentioned what it was about.
Yeah.
It was affirmations and what else?
The power of affirmations for positivity, that sort of thing.
There it is. Chanel, you should have came up so you could shout out your book, yo. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start ladies first. So, Anna, how are you today?
Doing good. How are you guys?
I'm well. So, you own I Am the Juice Place.
Yes.
Okay. How long you guys been open?
We've been open for over 2 years.
For over 2 years? Same spot?
Mm-hmm. Same spot. It's the only one in Dallas.
The only one in Dallas.
Yeah.
What now? I like what you said downstairs about how the business came about. Tell me how the business came about.
So I think I'm more comfortable talking about it now than I was at the beginning because, you know, it kind of takes practice to get into that, you know, place of being comfortable with your product and, you know, with who you are, and it becomes part of your identity. So for me, it was a way to learn about how to love myself.
Gotcha.
Which is something that I don't think a lot of people talk about. I think it's almost like kind of taboo-ish or corny, or people are like, oh, that's nonsense. But we're so detached from our emotions, you know, especially right now with like social media and everything that I think people even forget about the, you know, two really important words that have been such a big lesson for me, which are emotional intelligence.
Oh, yeah.
And so for me, it was just that, you know, because I was reading this book and it's called, you know, Start With Why by, you know, Simon Sinek. And that book really impacted me. And so I was like, well, why do I want to open this juice place? Why do I want to do, you know, cold press made to order when it's tedious and it takes longer and nobody's doing it? You know, why do I want to do affirmations? Why do I want to do, I started questioning everything because I question things a lot.
Okay.
And so I started just answering all these questions, and it was just like, I know that the way we treat others is the way we treat ourselves. And so I started noticing a lot of just anger and resentment and all these things that I would just kind of lash out. And I think that it happened. I mean, I know that it was because I hadn't fully accepted myself and I hadn't embraced my worth and I hadn't embraced the way that I love myself. And so I think that especially nowadays, like, you know, we struggle with that. You know, we're kind of just like on the fence about everything, and we just feel so unsafe, so uncertain about everything because, you know, I'm not going to get into politics, but we all know what I'm talking about, right? So the elephant in the room, that's like, you don't have to tell me anything. Like, I see it too.
We got you.
Yeah. And so that's really like what it comes down to. Like, that's the most important thing for me in the juice place. And I think we've gotten a very good response from our audience. Like, the people that come in, they're like, why is your name so long? Why is this? Why is that? And then, you know, it's easier to judge something. And then you're like, oh, you know, like, after you explain to people, they're like, oh, that's why. And so then, you know, when you explain the story, they're like, oh, wow, that's really cool. And so I think that happens with everyone in life. You know, when we don't know people's stories, we make our own story about that person, about that product, about that company. And then when you hear, I mean, the person that founded the company talk about it, you're like, oh, wow, that's actually, I never really thought about that. So, you know, that was a long explanation, but yeah.
That's the best explanation, though. It's supposed to be long.
Thank you.
We really want to know why. Shout out to one just point that, and I'm gonna, every time that I hear something that somebody else from a previous show said, I try to reference it only because for me, it's the more we begin to tie things together, the more that people hold on to that information.
Yeah.
And they may have heard it before, and they would, you know, you'll kind of blow something off, and then you hear it again. You're like, okay, let me listen. So KG, who I was talking about earlier from Cosign, we talked about, he's really into stories. So his whole thing is, you know, what's your story? What's your story? What's your story?
Yeah.
One of my goals is to, become an expert in curiosity. So that's one of my goals. So I'm always wanting to know what somebody's story is, right?
That's great.
So that's what KG and I kind of, I met him on that plane right there. I really dig that. So I say that to say that that's the best part of your name and having to explain where it came from.
Thank you.
Because when people can connect to your story and relate to your story, then you not only just gained, you didn't just gain a new customer.
Yeah.
You gained a repeat customer, and you literally, just because of the connection that you have, a friend.
Oh, absolutely.
Who doesn't want to buy from their friend?
Yeah.
I mean, there's, the jury's out on the whole doing business with your friends and buying from your friends, and your friends supporting your business, but that's another story. We're not here for that today.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. And so what's the one thing that you would want to tell people just about coming to visit I Am the Juice Place? Like what is it? Like let's ask this. Where can we find you we know where you are physically, but where can we find you on the web or anything like that?
So we're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Okay.
I want to keep it simple. There's so many social media outlets these days. It's like I'm constantly trying to come back into that whole concept of minimalism, because otherwise it just gets to be too much. That's like
okay. At I Am the Juice Place.
Yes, I Am the Juice Place. Twitter wouldn't let us do so it's I Am Juice Place.
Okay.
And then Facebook, same thing. I Am the Juice Place.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. So what's the best drink down there?
Oh, people always ask me that, and I always go, from which category? So, I mean, it just depends. Like if you like juices, smoothies, coffee, or tea, but obviously our strongest, sellers are smoothies and juices.
Okay.
And I really like all of them. I really can't always just pick one because I'm usually always creating different things, and, I can mix and I can add whatever I want because, I own it.
Yeah.
So I don't have to pay extra for anything, which is nice. But I mean, have them, come try it out. They can try a suggestion. They can try something that they have in mind.
Okay.
I'm always, I teach yoga too. So this kind of, is a nice little bind in there. That's actually how Isaiah and I met, which is really cool.
You just kind of mind melded with me because that was going to be my next question. I was going to ask him, so, hey, how'd you wind up at I Am the Juice Place?
Yeah.
So you mind melded. There we go. See how it's going across like that.
Yeah, we're connected right now.
Okay.
And so, it's just, if you want to try something new, if you have something in mind, I always try to encourage people to have fun. If it's, if you're coming to the Juice Place, if you're taking your first yoga class, like, who cares? Just have fun, because I think that's what we forget. We get so caught up in like trying to get everything so perfect and so right and so whatever.
Yeah.
That it becomes unattainable up to a point where we forget that we actually need to have fun. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I will say this: as much as I try to prepare for this show, you have to be more prepared for the unexpected, for guests not to show up at the last minute, only because dealing with the subject that we're dealing with, for the subject matter that we're dealing with for the duration of the season, things can come up. If you're an actual operator, you're operating your business, then you may have an issue, and as much as you want to make it to the show, you may not be able to make it to the show. So I get it. I deal with busy people who actually operate their businesses, so I don't take it personal.
That's good.
So you just have to be prepared to deal with the unexpected, and I like having fun. So Jedi and I were about to jump into the finishing his interview. Well, we're gonna have to. Jedi's gonna get his own. But yeah, come on, man.
What's up? No, yeah, we can hold off. I'm here 7 days a week. So
yeah, but don't leave me though. You're still flying with me right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't leave the cockpit. But we were just talking about his beginnings too, and how he started everything. So I'm gonna swing over to my left, and we're gonna Anna. Don't leave me either. You're a co-pilot now. I got 3 co-pilots.
I'm here.
Okay. And so we got Isaiah. What's up, Isaiah?
Hey, what's up? Hello, Dallas.
He said hello, Dallas. He's ready.
I'm ready.
This guy's media. You had great media training.
I have had some media training, but
From me.
from Anna. I go to I Am the Juice pretty much for two things. One is I Am Vital. Because that's just a great juice that just picks me up in the middle of the afternoon.
Okay.
And then I also go for therapy. And training of all sorts.
Okay.
which Anna is gracious enough to provide for me for free. So that I was there today. I'm working on my I just wrapped up my investment hypothesis, which talks about what you just talked about, odds and like the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. Like we live in an odds-based reality, and you should expect the unexpected. So I've been working on a way to travel in time to buy equities in startup companies after they've already proven themselves.
Wow.
Sort of like a Gray's Sports Almanac for venture capital.
Okay.
And you ask, well, why would you do that? Why would this be in the startup founder's interest? Well, startup founders are like this giant piggy bank that the venture capital industry and all the startup incubators have kind of gone around to pretty much take money out of the piggy bank. But
Wow.
if you look at before there was venture capitalists, before there was these incubators and stuff, the startup ecosystem, there were tons of companies. In the 1600s, the Dutch East India Company, Procter and Gamble. Look at the Fortune 500. A lot of companies were started before the days of the VCs and the funders. Well, Professor John Mullins from the London School of Business, this has been his whole hypothesis, is like startups have been going on for years, but VCs have hijacked the limelight, and they've put all the attention on themselves.
So tell people what VCs are, because maybe not everyone knows that.
Venture capitalists.
There we go, co-host.
I got to keep them grounded.
Yeah,
That's what I do.
She keeps me grounded. So I'm a Gemini. I'm all up in the air. But Anna, she keeps me connected to the earth.
What are you?
I'm a Taurus, so that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
What are you, Jonathan?
I'm a Libra.
Libra. All right. Libra,
see,
zebra.
right in the middle.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am.
Balance.
Scales.
Yeah.
Very
Scales.
cool.
What are you, Jedi?
I'm a Virgo.
Okay.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. We have that Mercury in common.
Okay.
They're ruled by Mercury, Gemini and
You're in
Virgo.
the house of,
House 7, which means gonna get off.
Yeah, I mean, sure, I could get my
here.
chart out, but then I'd have to stop Twitter live streaming.
so venture capitalists, VCs.
Yeah, and it comes from my story as an entrepreneur. I spent my 20s, dropped out of college, went into sales, and was like, well, I could do this just in my own business. Started an ad agency. And then realized that data was like super key in this advertising I was doing, and then started a data infrastructure company, and then started an online review management company. All kind of like the link in all of this is like I would learn something that would open up a new question.
Gotcha.
And something would happen where the first two businesses didn't work out. The third business worked out, but we had all sorts of issues with investors, and it was tenuous at best, and that's what caused me to come up with. It was really hard because, Anna was talking about how you, as an entrepreneur, you identify with your business, and I did do that. And like seeing these investors come in and like take over a successful company that I started was just too much to bear. And I grew a lot through it, and I realized it's probably not best to like identify with your business and stuff. But on the other hand, entrepreneurs are on this for a journey. It's like you don't go and start a business if you want to just have an easy time. You're trying to learn something. So there was value in that. But still, I connected in with the work of Professor John Mullins, which is talking about VCs hijacking companies to
Gotcha.
To extract value, and I asked the question like, well, how can finance add value? And is it really about pumping money into companies before they're proven, pumping tons of money in? Like I heard of a company raised $100 million, and they're just like, oh, they're just burning through it. And a lot of times, these companies that raise lots of money or even small amounts of money, they end up not doing as well as the companies that just grinded it out and got customers and had, as John Mullins writes in the Customer Funded Business, customers prepaying for products like Airbnb. You prepay for your stay before you go. The host gets paid much later after you've left. So that float is enough to keep the company going. Now they raised capital, et cetera, but if you have these models, these Mullins describes 6 customer-funded business models, you can go so much farther without capital. So I thought, well, how do we package this up? Like, I'm really into policy, into like how systems work, and I came up with my lawyer after we spent 2 years fighting with these investors and finally closing the deal and getting paid and getting out of there. And I thought, well, how do I pay it forward? How can I use what we learned with all this enormous all these legal expenses around what they did, and how do we write like the anecdote to that? The anti-poison pill that any entrepreneur anywhere in the world can use to attach to any legal document that they're signing with investors or even with themselves.
Gotcha.
And it's called the founder-friendly standard. And you can go and Google, just type in founder-friendly standard. It'll pop up in my blog, isaiah.blog. Okay. And it's a set of principles that is based off of like the terms that Google has with super voting equity or Facebook has. And it also comes up with other anti-poison pills that we all learned, me and my 3 co-authors learned from our own experiences. So founder-friendly standard, and then we're talking about how to index that. Like how do you create an asset class out of companies on the founder-friendly standard so that the institutional investors who give VCs their money can just cut out the VC and buy like a passive index fund of early stage equity.
So let me ask you this though. Yo, you like got my head going warm. Not just because like my eyes, if you saw my eyes get big, I'm like, I've been waiting to hear this. That's some good, I want to curse right now.
Can we? Is cursing allowed on the show?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. All right.
I was curious about that too.
No, you can't. You can't. Yeah, that's some good shit.
All right.
There we go. Let me just make it official.
Yeah. Stamp. Stamp.
Is the name of the book the founder friendly?
The standard itself is the founder friendly standard. Yeah, it's an open source addendum to any contract. You can get it. It's actually licensed through a Creative Commons license. Okay. And you can attach this to any agreement, and it comes with an adjudication form that you can bring to an attorney. And if this attorney will literally, the form says, the standard says, founders will have 21 votes for every 1 vote of investor equity. And then the attorney checks, does the founder's bylaws, employment agreement, private placement memorandums, anything that an investor would have you sign, do all of these agreements, and makes the attorney list them out on the form, and then makes the attorney write their license number down and say, do these meet, the standard? Yes or no. So like it goes through the whole standard, all 5 major sections.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, the attorney it says, if all of the boxes are checked yes, then it meets the standard. And then there's your attorney's signature. So you're leveraging the whole, licensing system of, your state bar. So if the attorney is going to like read all this and say no, then, well, either that's malpractice or it's literally, So you get to leverage this. So you reduce the time haggling with investors who may have more money and more expertise than the average entrepreneur. You can get a leg up because you're taking all of the expertise that I found in Google's bylaws and my own attorney's bylaws and my co-author Dan Flanagan's. And we've been through this. We've spent like hundreds of thousands of dollars on legal fees between all of us. Not, I didn't personally spend that. I have a good portion of it. but yeah, so we're baking this all in and packaging it so you can literally get in and out of an attorney's office in like 1 to 3 hours with this determination. And then it's up to you as the entrepreneur to decide, well, do you not want to go in with the standard? And if so, why? Like, why do you want to start a company if you're going to be controlled by investors?
Why would you not protect yourself?
Yeah. You don't have to start a company to be an entrepreneur. I did an interview with Randy Scadam, who's the CMO over at Celanese. And he's like, yeah, you could be an entrepreneur inside of a company. So there's that alternative too.
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty dope. I tell you what, Jedi, let's take a quick break. Let's take a 5. Pull up. Pull up. Right at the top of pull up, we can just, we'll do this Gary V style. We'll edit on the fly.
Gary V style.
Just put pull up on for me and go ahead and put up the flyer for Rhythm and Rhymes. All right. Don't take it off, though. Let it play. Is the flyer up? All right. Each and every Thursday, you guys know, not each and every Thursday, the first and third Thursday of each month, Rhythm and Rhymes is at Cloud9 Hookah Lounge in Richardson. I can't remember the actual address. It's like 804 Shore Drive. Is it 804 or 824? What's the flyer say?
804.
804 Shore.
804 West
Hey, man,
Shore.
those pills are working. Cloud9 Hookah Lounge, 804 West Shore Drive in Richardson, Texas. If you don't have anything to do on a Thursday, or even if you do have something to do, make sure that it's Cloud9. It's Rhythm and Rhymes at Cloud9. I am the host. My name is JP Green, aka Mr. Mo Better. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, as such, Mr. Mo Better, and DJ for the nights on the ones and twos is DJ Tate. You can find him on Instagram as Big Tate. I don't actually know what his Twitter handle is because that's my best friend and I don't talk to him on Twitter. We're kind of old school. We talk to each other in person. So you can, and each and every Thursday. I kind of like fumbled through this little commercial. I was a lot smoother the first time I did this. Shout out to JCF Productions. Jessica, I forgot to hit you up. You're supposed to come down today. But you can find her on Instagram at Trades and Trends Expos. She has more than just Rhythm and Rhyme. She has Culture Couture coming up August 31st, which is a fashion show. So of course I'm going to be attending. I don't know about what my duties are going to be during the show. I will be in the building. Who doesn't like to be around a bunch of models? And it's going to be some good food, especially if it's culture, couture, whatever. Anyway, Rhythm and Rhymes. That was a little loud. Rhythm and Rhymes, 804 West Shore Drive, Richardson, Texas, the first and third Thursday of every month. That means next Thursday, July 5th, we'll be in the building, man. Get up off of your sofa and find a seat on ours. Rhythm and Rhymes. back. I have Isaiah and Anna, and of course my trusty co-pilot Jedi Jansen. You'll have to go listen to the throw out the rundown, the first one. It's at the beginning of it to find out how Jedi got his name.
Yeah. Yeah. Go back and dig.
Once you listen to that, you'll be ready for the next time. And you'll know, we'll get to some more of Jedi's adventures in radio. What should we call your little piece whenever you're on? Let's come up. Let's think about that.
Yeah, it's a good one. I don't know.
Yeah, whenever you're on, we got a little piece that you start telling us stories. Is it story time with Jedi? That's too corny. No, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, I think it's something.
Okay. So Anna, you said you had a couple questions you wanted to ask.
Well, actually, I just wanted to comment on Isaiah's product because it's not a book. I think of it more as like a manual, which is kind of like what he's been describing. And when he told me this, I mean, obviously he's my friend and I'm supportive of, like my friend's ambitions and goals and dreams and, especially he's doing something really cool. But I think that I'm also very realistic. And if it's not a good product, if it's not a good idea, I'm going to be like, well, how about we pivot? And I think that for those entrepreneurs because I think everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. It's kind of like a trend. Like, oh my God, entrepreneur life is so amazing. And you think that you're going to be like bawling all the time and like rolling up in your Rolls Royce and just like, it's
not at all.
It's like you're broke. You have to have a second job. Like people don't understand how
Lonely.
it is. Yeah.
It's not for the faint of heart. Let me tell you that right now.
Exactly. And so, but it's a great adventure. And I think that outsourcing is a really cool thing, especially when you're doing something on your own. I mean, if you can get something like his product out there, oh my gosh, it's like you're in line with everything, because sometimes people want to like half-ass stuff and then they try to do things here and there and it doesn't work out, and then you got the IRS on your ass, like you're not doing things correctly, you've got people suing you or whatever. Like things can always go south real quick, real fast. And I think having this kind of aid, like support, is just great because, it comes from someone that's already been through an experience. And I know Isaiah, I know that he has like a really good heart and he actually wants to do some good. So I really support. I told him, I was like, wow, I was really fortunate to have someone, help me out and develop all the things for the juice place, because I'm more, creative and all that stuff. So when you have to be realistic about the qualities that you possess. And if you do not have these, like don't be a cheapskate, like don't like not pay the things that you have to, because then, in Spanish we have a saying, lo barato sale caro. The cheap things eventually end up being more expensive. Yeah. And I think this is just a great example of how to avoid it and just make your life easier. Because that whole like hustle 24 days, every day, it's like a trend too. And I'm so sick of it because it's not attainable. You burn out, it looks cool, but it's really not. It's not. And you don't have to hustle all day, every day, all that stuff. Like, you have to have some time for yourself. You have to have time for your friends, for your family. Like, what are the things that are important to you? Because if you lose that, you won't do well in your business.
No.
Everything reflects.
Wow.
And so I am a big supporter of this product. And, when I know that it comes from a very reliable and responsible source, I back it up 100%. Like, I support it 100%. So
let me just say this with all sincerity. I love you.
Aw, me too.
You just hit 7 points I've made 1,000,000 times over the last couple of years. That's pretty awesome, yo. Hey, man, you're in good company, buddy.
Hey, I'm very lucky to be here. Let me just say, I think the other thing about this odds-based reality that we're living in is I just say, I am so lucky. I am so lucky, and I tell that to myself. But then I also do things. It's all about being as a great person, about giving back. In Judaism, we call it tzedakah, like the doing good deeds.
Gotcha.
It's all about that to get lucky, because I was sitting at the juice place when I met you, Jonathan. And I was working in my notebook here, my brain organizer notebook. And one of the questions I asked is, how do I get on a podcast to get
Seriously?
my message out? Yeah, seriously, look, right there, podcast. So I need to get in front of the economic professors, authors, some of the people writing answers on Quora.
Gotcha.
For entrepreneurs, but then also podcasts. And today, you just walked in and answered my question.
Well, that's how you get on
Lucky.
the podcast. Be at the I Am Juice place.
There you go.
And I told him, I was like, stay here until I close. And he's like, no, I don't know. We close at 2, right? And I was like, I told you. I was like, every time you come in here, something magical always happens.
That's right.
love the
Am I
word
right?
magic.
It's true. It's true.
I love it
Always, always.
as Hannibal would say from the A-Team, I love it when the plan comes together. We didn't plan one bit of this.
No, not at all.
At least we didn't. The creator may have had some things
Right.
in common, had this in store for us. Because I was just up here a little heated before I came downstairs, which led me to ask Chanel. Chanel, you played a pivotal role in this whole thing.
Where are you?
Hey, go buy her book. Y'all hit. What's her? Did you follow her? She tagged the place.
Yeah, witted but rooted.
Wilted but rooted.
Yes.
Wilted but rooted.
Wilted but rooted.
Yes.
Wilted but rooted. And Chanel, what's her? She follows you on IG.
Yeah.
What's her IG? What's her IG account name?
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to post something
Okay.
about her.
Yeah, Chanel, hit us up so we can put your information out there, yo. You can tag the show too, by the way. The Get Back Show. You can tag the Get Back Show. So Isaiah, where can, aside from Googling about the information, I thought did you have something else out there too? Is this the first book or second book?
Oh, it's a simple web page, not a book. So yeah, I do have some things that extend the founder-friendly standards. So on my blog, isaiah.blog, I have an article called "I'll be the Sean Parker to your Mark Zuckerberg."
Got you.
Yeah, and that's all about the story of like behind the scenes of like how I came to the founder-friendly standard.
Okay. And Anna, what else you guys have going on?
For the juice place?
Yes. And whatever else you're doing.
Well, right now there are a lot of there's a lot of stuff going on, but I'm keeping things to myself right now. Maybe next time that I see you, I'll be like, hey, guess what? This is what's going on. But the juice place is currently under sale, where I'm actually selling the juice place because it's one of those things that I've created something so beautiful and so profitable. But there comes a point, and I didn't think that this point would ever come. I didn't think I would ever get here. But when you have such a great product, when you have like a strong customer base, and then I realized, I was like, I really don't want to do food. I really don't want to do food and beverage. I love what I've created. I love the mission. I love the values that I've created around the juice place. But it's come to that point where I would rather pass it on to someone who wants to basically, explode it and just, build it into, or transform it into, or not transform it, because I already know that's a little gold mine, but just kind of keep pushing it all the way up until, there's so many, because we get so many requests of just like, spaces in Fort Worth, Frisco, Uptown. They're like, hey, you want to open another location? And I'm like, no. And it's 2 years. So it's time. So I've decided that I want to do a little bit more dealing with humans only. And I deal with humans all the time at the juice place. The interaction is amazing, but I just want to leave out the the food part.
Got you.
So I will definitely be talking more to you about that stuff.
Well, let's just do this. So I have an open door policy. Go figure. I have an open door policy when it comes to the show, especially for entrepreneurs that are local. If you've been on the show before, if you've been a guest of the show, you know this. So I'm telling you guys, if you're ever in the building and I'm on a Saturday, just come upstairs. Catch me on the break. Wave at me in the window. I'll give you my information before you leave or whatever. Just hit me up and come up, because as long as we're talking about entrepreneurship, and then even when we move on to something else, I still want to keep that connection. And And if me being on the show is the focal point of contact for all of us, then hey man, we can have a party in here every damn Saturday. You know what I mean? And just really just nerd out and talk about entrepreneurship and really talk about business and stuff like that, and keep it going, and keep everything going. So basically, what I'm telling you is
I can come by anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah. All right.
There we go.
Thank you.
I took the long way. I took the long way.
Storytelling is part of the show.
Hey, yeah, the point I was making about KG, back to that, KG said that the best brands, you know, the ones that have managed to sustain the longest are the best storytellers. Mm-hmm. So that's really one thing that interests me, and that's one of the reasons why I do my show, is because I want to know what your story is. You know, and really just sit and listen. So I'm pretty much, sometimes I get caught off guard, meaning that I may be sitting here looking at you, letting you talk, and people, you know, I'll hear people like, well, you didn't ask any more questions, because I was letting them talk, man. That's the reason I bring them on the show. I want to, so the purpose of the show is to be a conduit of information. And one of the things that you've referenced a couple times is about the question. Jonas Salk said he said that answers pre-exist. It's the questions that we must find. The answers revealed through, you know, realizing what the right question to ask is.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
And so that I'm very big on trying to ask the right questions. And sometimes you can't get to the right question until you hear some of somebody's story.
Yeah.
Because now you're starting to, now you want to dig. For me, it's listening, and then, okay, that interests me. Let me put a pin in that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and then from there we'll circle back around to it. But the whole goal is to just to really listen, and then from there ask the right question. How can you know what your consumer base wants if you don't ask them what they want?
Yeah.
Or if you're not listening to what they're complaining about? You know, I just saw something. I think Dr. Peter Drucker said, don't sell a product. He said, sell the solution that you're solving.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or sell the problem that you're solving. Don't sell the solution, sell the problem that you're solving.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so that's really what it is how can you get to that? You don't know what to solve for if you don't shut up and listen.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and that's really where I am. So, man, we're like at where are we at, Jedi? It's right at the top of the hour. Social information.
Isaiah_E, and Isaiah starts with an E, so EISAIAH_E.
Okay.
So that's my Twitter, and you can also find me on LinkedIn, Isaiah Engel, and I spell it EISAIAH.
You're not on the gram, man? Why you not on Instagram?
I'm on the gram. You know, my girlfriend's on the gram. I've been. That's the only place she's in. So I pretty much should get more on the gram. But no, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. That's where I stay.
You got to get on the gram, buddy. Instagram is. Hey, let me tell you something. People knock it because there's so many. Of course, it's pictures and stuff like that. But you guys do know that Facebook owns Instagram. If you don't know that, I don't know where you've been.
Yeah.
So you're seeing a lot of updates. Like the latest update is IGTV. And now you're able to call through Messenger. And of course, you know, everybody's like, don't call me through Instagram. Blocking people. If you call me, I saw somebody put it in their stories the other day. They said
call me on the phone.
They said if you call me on Instagram Messenger, I'm blocking you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, that's deep,
That's a little too much.
Yeah, that's deep. And then IGTV. I get it though. You know, some people just. I have some people that I can only communicate through. I'll send my number because I'm old school, I guess. I send my number after like the first couple messages because I don't want to keep. I don't want to keep DMing you.
I'm with you.
No,
I'm with
You know what I'm saying? Call me.
Yeah,
we
so
can
with
get
you.
a lot done faster if you give me a phone call and we can talk about it. Because me going back and no, and then I get distracted. Come on now. No, that means after about 3 messages, unless it's something that I'm really like, if we're in the middle of I don't really have heated conversations. I'm a smart ass. So I make my little smart comment and then I don't come back to my messages for a couple of days. So, but unless it's just we're really engaged in it, I'm not going to stay on the DM.
Yeah.
Or even if I inbox you. I hate email. I mean, well, I'm not going to say that because I do work for a living, so I'm, yeah. But I will get up and come to your desk before I email you, unless I have to just email you. But anyway, so I get my number out, man, and I'd rather get it done that way. But no, the new updates are really, really cool. And then I saw where now you can subscribe to somebody's channel. I think it's like $4.99. YouTube is getting a cut of that. A minor cut. Is not as big as the other ones. When of the revenue sharing that they do, they kind of get you on that one. And then YouTube has provided a way for you to sell merch, for influencers to sell merch. But you know what, YouTube, as most things, is like you can't get to those levels unless you have like 50,000 followers or 100,000 followers.
Yeah. Because
they want to make sure that they're gonna get their cut of the money. Really, that's what I get it. It's business. I'm not tripping. But I will tell you this, YouTube, most of the influencers that have 100,000 followers already have somebody that they do merch with local. So good try. I don't know if that's going to get as much business as you think it's going to get, but good try. But yeah, man, there's a lot of new updates. I don't know if Twitter has anything. You're on Twitter. Have you seen any updates lately?
I love Twitter. The video feature of Twitter, they brought it into one app recently. Instead of having to go through Periscope, you can just do a live stream. They made their algorithm better. I think that's the whole thing on Twitter, is like, how do we make this so that you can see what you want to see? They've done a really good job with that.
Yeah. Well, I think that, everybody had to kind of catch up, because they said by next year, 80% of marketing is going to be video.
Yeah.
So nobody will be like reading print ads. I mean, some people will. But most of the time, people want to see video, either long form or short form video. So I wasn't tripping 6 months ago when I was like yelling from the mountaintop about that to some people.
I wasn't tripping.
I wasn't like,
no,
I'm like, maybe I thought I was like, I wasn't. I grew up in the 80s, but I didn't take Quaaludes. I didn't drop acid either, so so I wasn't hallucinating about that one. But yeah, man, there's been a lot of good updates, a lot of things happening on social. Are you familiar with are either one of you guys familiar with social entrepreneurship? The term? Yeah,
that's where you're doing like a good cause, like you're starting a company for a cause. Is that different than B Corps, or is it all within the same kind of thing?
I'm not for certain. Only reason I ask is because my Lyft driver had a social entrepreneur podcast.
Oh wow,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so he's been on hiatus. It's been a couple years. He had a death in the family, like somebody that really like his co-host. I mean, it's so today. You know what? I'm gonna start to wrap it up, but I'm gonna wrap it up with how this started. And I didn't even think about it in the midst of everything, because I was in the middle of it. And coming down to the show, I really wasn't even certain how it was gonna go, but I knew that I didn't want to miss the show. Like, I was like, I'm coming. Even if Jedi have to sit in here and we're gonna talk about each other's lives, that I'm gonna come down here and we're gonna get the show going. So my Lyft driver picks me up, and he's asking me, about what I do, and I was telling him, I was leaving work, and then I was telling him about why we were coming downtown for the podcast, and he explained to me, he talked to me about social entrepreneurship, and kind of gave me a brief overview of what it was. But he was telling me as to why he took a break. So this was deep, like off the top, like off the muscle. He's like getting deep on me. He was like, so his co-host was his wife, and she passed away. They were like 4 episodes in, and she passed away. Now, we didn't get into the details as to why she passed away, but he was telling me that he was still recovering from it and things like that. So I'm just like, damn, okay. How is this day going? Where is this headed? But he really got into it and really just started telling me about some people. So when I have the opportunity, I'm going to have him on too. You know what? I'd love to have him on and you on. I think you guys would.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think you guys would hit it off. You too. I think that's a good panel. That's a good panel.
Let's do it.
So I gotta find him. but he told me we'll be in touch. So that means he's going to find me too. So I'm looking for you, buddy. And Chanel, you too. I'm not going to let you make it.
It's not getting away.
So anyway, we go through all of that, and he drops me off. I come down. I get here, and of course, it's still up in the air. I'm still dealing with some stuff from work, and it's still up in the air. And so I just tell Jedi, I'm going to go down and get coffee, and then our whole story happened. So it's pretty dope, man. I guess I'm telling you guys that to really just say this. Sometimes we're in the middle of what's something magical happening, and we can almost miss the sunshine. We can miss the moment and miss the opportunity because we have our heads hanging down because it's not going like we think it should. Or you're so focused on what's wrong that you're missing out on what's right. Mm-hmm. And at that moment, standing in the coffee shop, when I went downstairs, I just decided. I think the reason that I asked Chanel, aside from Chanel, I thought you were beautiful. Asking her, I'm being transparent. I'm being transparent and authentic.
We all knew what you were thinking.
Yes,
she was.
Yeah, but I just wanted to. It was.
Yes.
I was being genuine. And so, but I was like, you know what, man? I'm gonna make the most of this moment. And I guess it was good energy down there too.
Yeah,
it was good energy.
Always good vibes at the juice place.
And so, in that moment, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make the most of it. And instantly, when I decided to look at what was going right, I was here. It was good energy down there, and then just making the choice to say, I'm not gonna get caught up in the negative that what's going on or what I think I'm missing out on. And I just wanted to appreciate what was in front of me, and then this happened.
Yeah.
So that forever changes how I feel about coming down to the show, and if somebody's here or not. I don't care if I got to go drag people off the street. You're going to get interviewed. My bad. That's me. You're going to get interviewed on the Get Back show. Listen, if you're an entrepreneur, if you know somebody that's an entrepreneur, DM me or DM the show or inbox the show. Don't DM me. You can if you want to. But DM or inbox the show on Instagram, Facebook, or hit us up on Twitter at The Get Back Show, and send us your Skype information if you're not in the city, if you're not in the DFW Metroplex. If you are, you still can. Some people are camera shy. Just know that you Skype us, guess what? It's not going to be a video call. I mean, it's not going to be a audio call. It's going to be video. So get it together.
You better be dressed.
Yeah, get it. We don't want to Skype you in your drawers, okay? We don't want to see you in your drawers, Skyping us. Don't call stunting at the swimming pool on the beach. Don't stun on us now. But send us your Skype information, and we'll get you on for a 5 to 7 minute interview. If you're in the city, I dare you to DM or inbox us. If you want to talk about entrepreneurship, that's me. I'm putting a dare out there in the universe to all entrepreneurs. I don't care what industry, I don't care what niche, whatever it is. If you want to talk about your business, DM or inbox me. If you're in the DFW Metroplex, I will send you the address, and we will set up an interview time where you can come down here and talk about your business. This is what the show is for. It's to get information out there. It's to get you information as an entrepreneur, but also get the people or potential customers or buyers your information, so that you can grow your consumer base as well. I just want to see people be successful.
Yeah.
I want to see people be the best that they can be. I feel like our gifts and our talents and our abilities are not given to us for ourselves. They're given to us to uplift each other. And even if it's starting a business, I always feel like you start something. I don't care if it's a Fortune 500 company. Of course, they want to be profitable, but I believe that the majority of most businesses are started with a purpose in mind, to solve for something. Innovation, that's how innovation comes about. The greatest collaborations came about because something, needed to be solved for, something needed to be fixed. There was an issue, a problem. just like you said, when you started yours, it was all out about self-love. And putting that message out there, having a place to be able for people to come to and for them to be able to either feel the message or hear the message. So I just want to challenge you all this week, man. Don't be afraid. If you want to start something new, research, plan, then start. Take the jump. Go beyond the edge. It's a free fall. You're going to continue to free fall as you go through the entrepreneurship cycle, I guess, the journey. It is a journey. It's a journey of some valleys. It's some journey of some mountains, and that's just the bad part. But you get over it. That's not even bad. That's the part that makes you who you are.
Stronger.
Yeah, that's the part. That's why you do what you do. So I just got the twirly sign, the twirly bird, which means wrap it up. I can't be like an old bootleg preacher. You're going to have to pull my coattails sometimes. I can get a little long-winded. But I just want to say thanks again to my guests for just coming up and man, just vibing out with me, but sharing your story with us. You guys are welcome back anytime. If you're in the building 1 to 3 on Saturday, come and holler at me, and we'll get you in. And we can just talk. So we're going to keep it going. Once again, this has been a great show, a really great show. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter at The Get Back Show. You can catch me every first and third Thursday from 8 to 12 at Cloud9 Hookah Lounge. I'll be hosting Rhythm and Rhymes. You can find Anna downstairs at I Am the Juice Place.
Yes.
211 North Irvay. Where can we find you again?
Just type Isaiah Engel into Google.
And you can just Google him because he that big.
It's a true story. I changed my name to get better Google search rankings, but that's possibly a story for another time.
Yeah, it is. It is. I definitely want to dig into that. And then, as always, you can find my man Jedi Jansen, DallasOnAir.com.
Yep. That and Facebook, Jansen Ray.
Okay. Yep. And you can find him, Jansen Ray, on Facebook.
Well, actually, Jedi Jansen will pull up my Facebook as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so just Google that, Jedi Jansen.
And of course, last but not least, myself. My name is JP Green, aka Mr. Mo Better, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter. As such, you guys have a great week. And as always, I'm sending all my love to you and my prayers up for you. One love.